Hello fellow Earth creatures. My name is Beth and welcome to Earth Buzz. Earth Buzz is the place where we dive in and have a closer look at what is happening around our planet, our common home. Today's theme for Earth Buzz is Planet Resurrection, chosen especially because we are currently in the Easter season. Easter is a time when we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. We celebrate that Jesus is alive, and because of that, we are filled with hope and joy, and are called to bring that hope and joy to our world. Now, at this time in our world, COVID-19 has caused massive disruption, upheaval, social isolation, sickness and loss. We desperately need a sense of hope and joy. We certainly need resurrection. It is interesting to note that whilst human beings are experiencing massive problems because of COVID-19, our planet, the Earth, is actually experiencing some really positive outcomes. In a strange way, the coronavirus crisis is actually helping improve the environment across the world. Our planet is having a breather, a respite from human activities that for a long time have been causing great harm and destruction. Let's look at this in a bit more detail. Firstly, economic activity has slowed and there is less manufacturing. This has resulted in less pollution being created, and one of the positive consequences is that the air quality over Europe, China, India, the USA and Australia has temporarily improved. Did you know that in northern India, the people there have been in complete awe by their new view? The snow-capped Himalayas are now visible for the first time in 30 years. The beautiful mountains are 200 kilometres away, but have not been visible for decades due to high pollution levels. With the country in lockdown, locals have been mesmerised by what was hidden all along. In Venice, the canals are looking unusually clear. And it seems when humans are away, the lions and the animals come out to play. Lions lounge on roads normally frequented by safari goers in South Africa, and bears and coyotes wander around empty camping sites in Yosemite National Park in the US. Aeroplanes are grounded, people have been locked indoors, and factories shut. As humans slow down and try and prevent the spread of COVID-19, the natural world, it seems, is breathing a sigh of relief. It is slowly repairing itself. Despite these good news stories, the problems in the natural world haven't suddenly vanished. Polar ice is still melting. The bushfires that torched Australia earlier this year released more carbon into the atmosphere than ever before. Plastic pollution is still a huge problem in our oceans, and the first 3 months of 2020 was the second warmest on record. So what can we learn from this? Ultimately, whether this pandemic has been good or bad for the environment depends not on the virus, but on us. Conservationists and scientists already warn us that returning the world to its pre-pandemic business as usual will quickly wipe out any environmental benefits of the shutdown. COVID-19 has given human beings a serious wake-up call. We cannot continue to bulldoze into the last remaining places in nature and not expect there to be consequences. We have to rethink how we relate to the natural world and to each other. Pope Francis, in his encyclical letter, Laudato Si', stressed that all is connected. This global pandemic has certainly driven that point home. We are all one global family that includes all people and all of creation. We have to look after each other and the planet. Recently, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and Pope Francis said these words: "During this Easter season of renewal, let us pledge to love and esteem the beautiful gift of the earth, our common home, and to care for all members of our human family. In our celebration of Earth Day, we are called to renew our sense of sacred respect for the earth, but it is not just our home, but also God's home. This should make us all the more aware that we stand on holy ground. The COVID-19 crisis has helped us to reflect on how we have damaged our planet and what needs to change in terms of human behaviour. This opportunity can be either an end or a new beginning for humans. It's up to us. We have the choice to learn from our mistakes and remember that we are all connected to all of creation and we are all in this together. We'll finish Earth Buzz today with a story that invites us to come to a new understanding and a new realisation that we are part of a global family and we cannot return to what we did before. In this Easter time of resurrection, let this be our hope. Until next time, peace to you and peace to the planet.
Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed.
But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head.
Please, that one's my favourite. I promise just once more.
Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty, back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted, and the work-life balance broke. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below, we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic, because our waste was never capped, until each day when you went fishing you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies, more convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted and told us all to hide away. But while we all were hidden, amidst the fear and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you and calling up their mums. And while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure, and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new, and every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together?
Well, sometimes you've got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started, and why hindsight's 2020.